Knowing how to press the right buttons makes us go live. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a very special show. As you saw from the little meme that we did or the thumbnail for the show, I'm broadcasting live from the control center here in a suburb of the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. And Kenny Bolin is broadcasting live. The first ever podcast to broadcast live from the moon. And I'm hearing, yes. Okay, we're all ready to bring on Kenny Bolin. He is live from the I don't think you're on the
Don't
moon.
believe what you see. Do not believe what you see. This is all AI. I'm on the moon. I am on the moon. I'm on the northeast corner. There's a couple of rocket ships over here that were left behind. Maybe has something to do with Afghanistan. I'm not sure, but a couple of rockets were left behind. Big screen television. This is all AI because
this is moon-based bowling is what this is.
Moon-based bowling. Under special contract, I'm not allowed to reveal any images from the moon, or I could get a copyright strike. The moon is copyrighted. I didn't know.
By NASA. By
NASA, and I don't think they technically own the moon. A lot of people think that I'm the first man on the moon. They don't even think NASA's been here. And Michael Jackson's got more ownership to the moon. He learned how to walk on it, and it does work. I've done it up here a few times. But I had to AI my studio in here to get a little peace and quiet from the copyright people because they've gotten strict lately, by the way.
That's what I understand, yes.
Yeah. As we'll see how many people pop in here tonight. We are going head to head with the NCAA tournament. I am so glad that I blocked my brother because he's not only a big racist and a big homophobe and various other things I don't like about him, and tried to, as a half Mexican, tried to deport other Mexicans. Go figure. But, I guess most Mexicans that voted for Trump feel they were safe. Now, I don't think my brother's allowed to vote because he's a convicted felon. And we know of some convicted felons
around. That ever stops the people from voting
around the tri-state area. We know of some convicted felons that probably were not able to vote. So he talks about voting, and it's a great little, but I don't think convicted felons can vote, or so I've heard. Maybe Florida passed a rule.
In some places, they are allowed to redeem themselves.
I think Florida passed a rule to work it, because if they don't, none of their congressmen and senators will be able to vote.
The governor to be able to vote and stuff. So.
Speaking of congressmen and senators, I hear Stani Scalise, what's her name? Miss Scalise had her ambassadorship taken away from her because they can't afford to lose another congressman. Liz Scalise, whatever her name is. She was going to be an ambassador to somewhere, and that's been yanked.
That struck me as very odd when they had a very small lead in the House, a very small.
And he starts plucking from the house.
You come out of the house, and you come out of the house.
A lot of people thought that was a bad idea, and then I guess it just took Trump a couple of months to figure that out, that it wasn't a good idea.
Wait, if we take enough of them out, we'll lose.
Keep plucking. You go ahead and pluck, you dumb fuck. I mean, that might be a T-shirt. You never know. It's been a tough day.
Has it?
I have today's opening day for those. And if you don't like baseball, then you must be a Trump supporter. You must be non-American
and a communist.
If you don't like baseball. Even Morning Joe this morning had the set designed as if they were at Fenway Park. And not even I minded that, because at least they like baseball. And they opened it up with what's the guy's name? Star Wars guy. Field of Dreams. Help me out on his name.
Kevin Costner was not in Star Wars, but okay.
No, but the black man was.
The black
man. Focusing on the white people.
James Earl Ray. James Earl Jones. James Earl
Jones.
I'm James Earl Ray.
A lot of people are going to be scanning their Betamaxes now, looking for those old videotapes of Star Wars, looking for Kevin Costner.
And James Earl Ray.
Yeah, James Duke Earl Ray. And he's he opened up Morning Joe this morning, where he does that speak about how important baseball is. Baseball. And you have to say it like that, baseball, with importance on the tip of your tongue. And TC from the NC's in here. Lizelle, just one of the cutest little Filipino girls that we have on the market today. Well, now I'm acting like she's up for sale.
On the market.
Lizelle, she's friends with J9E. They go to high school together. Both are about to graduate. Both have their pictorials done recently. And then pardon me for noticing cuteness, but I'm old but not dead. But very, very cute little lady. Janine, a very cute little young lady. Tyler C, not so cute. He's a goddamn shit. I never can pronounce her name.
He looks like a T. What do you expect?
Now, Miss G says that they're low on rice and milk again.
Jing Onerazon is how I would.
Yeah, sure it is. Yeah, I'll take your word for it. Take your word for it.
Why not?
Now you see why I'm not an ambassador to the Philippines, because I can't pronounce all the names.
Yeah,
I got to give you some more volume. I'm running a little low. Oh, that's why I got the volume a little low.
Well, I've never been accused of being quiet.
Just now I got too much volume. That's too much Bob. Let's go to another level of Bob.
All right. So Zhang needs rice. You said
rice and milk for her baby. Rice, milk for her baby. Cheska needs to have a urinalysis. She's been pretty sick for a while, but she hasn't. I said, well, why don't you have it yet? She said, I got it scheduled for April 7th. I'm hoping I can earn some money and get my urinalysis done. I said, well, you've been pretty sick. You only make 125 pesos a day. How much is your urinalysis? 2,000 pesos. Well, she's not going to make enough money between here and the 12th and be able to eat and live to do that. So here's the tops of my priorities tonight. If we could raise $40 for Cheska, because she really needs to get that urinalysis done, because that could be a kidney infection. I've been there recently. That ain't shit. The
bladder infection could be all kinds.
And the Philippines ain't going to. They'll let her lay there and die before they do anything to help her. So Jeanette's shoes are on the back burner. We got the kids' shoes, but Jeanette's going to have to wait a little bit. It's about $15-16 to get Jeanette some new shoes, but we can wait on that. So let's see what we can do to focus on the urinalysis for Cheska. I think she also said her kid needs some medication because he's got a bad cold or something right now. The young lady whose name you can pronounce and that I can't. She's going to have to come up with a name like Karen or Sally or Betsy or something. It's got
to start with a J, so she might as well call herself Jill or Judy.
Name a J real quick off the top of your head. Name a popular J name that none of our Filipinos have.
Judy.
Female. I don't think we have any Judys.
No.
I don't think we have any Judys. Well, that's good because I wouldn't have come up with that.
And plus, Jaine kind of sounds like Judy. So.
Well, a little bit. Yeah.
Barely. Julie. We have no Julies. Julie.
Now, wait a minute. Let me think on it. Do we have any Julies? Julie, do you love me? Who sang that song?
Bobby Sherman.
Not many people in here would have come up with Bobby Sherman that quick to show how fucking old you are.
That's right.
And how old I am. That's the first song that came to my head when I heard the name Julie. By the way, I get these little shorts all the time, and I send them to you all the time. And I know you watch every one. I know you're waiting for them.
Every single one of them.
You better fucking watch them all, because if I send them, they're worth watching. And the one I watched the other day was lengthy, and I never dreamed this guy was this funny. But it was the roast of Frank Sinatra, and the funniest motherfucker on the entire roast was Peter Falk, who showed up in character as Columbo. Nice. And this thing goes on and it just the timing the man had and how good he was. And then one of the early appearances out of Steve Martin on the Johnny Carson show, where he's going to play the banjo, and the way he gets to it, and just the timing he had, and the shit that only he could have gotten by with. No other comedian could have done this shit and got by with it, but he did it, and it worked. And it was pretty funny. That was back when Johnny Carson was getting 20 million views a night. 20 million views a night because, well, there was 3 channels. And Steve Martin was on one of them. So.
And, yeah, one of them went off at the air at 10 p.m. Right after the news was over. They got off the air.
So we need your Central Time. You're used to the news coming on at 10.
So Jing needs rice and milk, and that's going to run about $20, $25.
Probably. Well, she needs medicine for the kid too, so that's probably more the $30 range by the time we get medicine for the kid. She says, I didn't realize he was going to run out of medicine quick. Another thing I'm working on, Eunice's dog got out of the gate and got attacked by 2 other big dogs. I sent her some betadine medicine. That was about $10 to get betadine for the dog. But it's got a big bite in its skull. I've seen pictures you don't want to see, so I'm not going to show it to you. The dog is eating. That is a good sign, but he's not walking around much. He's in a lot of pain. Eunice stayed up pretty much all night with the dog trying to comfort him, and it's going to cost, the medication for the dog is around 700 pesos. But the vet says, I think we should see it because the dog's got a big bite in its skull, and we might need to see what we're going to do to try to close the bite in the dog's head. Like I said, you don't want to see the pictures. I normally tell them not to do that, but I guess I needed to see what we were dealing with. And these 2 big neighbor dogs fucked this dog up. And it's one of her favorite dogs. She's only got a few left. She doesn't have 20 something anymore. So I've already covered the betadine, and I told her I'd see what we could do about the medicine. So we got a few projects to work on, but we do have some good news. But it's going to take a big ass team effort tonight that I don't know that this room is up to, but I can hope.
So before you get to that, we also have one more because Vanessa.
We got Vanessa's deal too. Yeah, and they need
RV, their neighbor, the young boy
grandma,
who's their neighbor. Her grandma, RV's grandmother, has breathing difficulty. She's on a nebulizer, and they have to put these like medicine pellets in the nebulizer 3 times a day. Now, those aren't expensive that much each, but when you add them up 3 times a day,
you add them up,
a month's supply is like 1,500 pesos. So we need to raise about $30 if we can to help with that medicine. So we've got a good 60, we have a good $150 in immediate needs for medical.
And we got a ways to go because the only donation we have so far is good old TC from the NC. He has donated $10. CVC did not send us any money, and neither did Reddit. So we'll just delete those.
Thanks, CVC.
So TC from the NC with $10, but there is some help on the horizon, but it's going to take some borderline help. The tea maker, who has expressed to me that he was getting a little irritated hearing some people claim that he did not like our show anymore and didn't support our show anymore, shit like that. And he says, well, I'm going to shut everybody up. He says, what I'm going to do is make a $200 challenge. And he says, not from any one individual, anything like that. I'm not calling out Cameron on his taxes because we don't know when Cameron gets his taxes back. So we don't get that 200 till shit might be another month. I don't know when he gets his taxes back. But he said, if the room can do $200, I will match it. And that'll put us in real good shape. Now, I heard people complaining, well, the king took in $700 on the birthday show. It actually did a little better than 700. Well, there was a couple of people that wanted me to go out and have a nice birthday dinner. And guess what I didn't do? Didn't get to have a nice birthday dinner. Not that I paid for anyway. But I don't know how far y'all think $700 goes, but it's not that far, especially when you got as many people as we help as we do. We are now the 501c3, as you know. If Bob wants to throw up our names, because I now have a new way to donate, and you can donate there now if you feel more comfortable doing it that way. We now have a separate PayPal account, and it's called Bolin Services Incorporated, and it is set up directly as a nonprofit organization that PayPal coached me through yesterday. You have 3 or 4 different types of business accounts you can set up. I got on the phone with PayPal, and they set me up for the nonprofit organization type of deal, which lowers the fees because some people, they like to use the QR codes to be able to donate. We have one for each PayPal account. We got one for the ones that you have always donated to that you see here. And then we also have a QR code for the 501c3 version of PayPal, which is if you type in Bolin Services Incorporated, as you see there, you can donate that way. And now, is that the Bolin Services?
That's the Kenny Bolin. So
that's the Kenny Bolin. Yeah, that's the Kenny Bolin one.
Yeah, we were going to wait on the Bolin Services one until all that other.
Yeah, because the only thing I have left to do to make that thing 100% official and having it doing everything that we needed to do is to link a specific bank account to it, to where any money that goes into that PayPal account goes into the business account, which
The charity account, right?
I'm debating on either Chase or a credit union. I haven't made up my mind which because I got a letter from Chase when they found out that I'd formed an LLC, wanting me, and I got the letter here somewhere. One, if I can find it, it's right next to my heart. Here it is.
Dear Kenny, we knew that we, screwed around with you before and charged you a bunch of fees
well,
and
that's pretty
stuff.
much as. Is that the letter right there? No, that
But
ain't the one. It's in a dark blue letter. I should be able to find the goddamn thing. Because it came the same day as my IRS certification. You know, the shit that I wasn't going to get.
right, that letter that doesn't
That letter
exist,
that's
was
guaranteed
photoshopped,
he's never getting it. You
verifiable.
mark my words.
That
He's
letter
never
right there.
that one. That's the one.
All right,
He's never getting that.
Just thought that.
Is that the one? No, that ain't Chase. Well, hang on. How much further I got to do? God damn. Fuck it. It's around here somewhere. It's but yeah, they wrote me wanting me to open up a business account with them. And oh, here it is. It's in my hand. I got the letter in my hand from Chase, trying to motivate me to open up a business account with them. And we'll put them under consideration, but I heard this credit union might be a good way to go too. And then any money that goes in through that QR code or through Bolin Services Incorporated at gmail.com will go into specifically that account. No, I'm not going to set up new Cash App accounts and Venmo because we can easily transfer the money in there anyway. It's not that big a deal. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. But the tea maker has said, I will, if the room will raise $200, I will match that 200 tonight. And that was out of the tea maker. So that is a chance to really set us up good, get everybody taken care of, and a little bit extra for the next show. Because someone said, well, Kenny, what can you do with $700? I said, well, our record was close to $1,400 on a Christmas Eve. And you know what $1,400 does? Because Bob, how many houses would you say we built or refurbished? Would 7 or 8 be a close estimate?
Yeah, I mean, when you consider, well,
and some of them got multiple houses.
Yeah, some. Yeah, I know we built the bathroom for
and bathrooms,
Jeanette
and Jeanette.
Yes, we
and
did
Vanessa. And Vanessa.
We did Vanessa. We did. We repaired Jelly Bean's home, and then we built her that little side house,
small home. Yeah,
that she got some privacy in.
Jeanette probably got the best house of all that we built. Jeanette probably got the best one.
Right, and we bought one for Eunice, or we helped buy one.
Well, we bought 2 or 3.
But
we resell them and then invest in the next
been sold, so.
Move them to safer areas,
or they've been foreclosed on and stolen out from under them.
And you have us members only again tonight, I assume.
I do. It is members only. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now the next show we do, and for good reason, because the meeting with the copyright people was today, and I know that there might be some people getting a little giddy, thinking that a couple of videos are safe. Well, I'm just going to let you know now, a little preemptive strike. They're not. They're safe for now. But we have to finish up the paperwork, take away one of the videos because we can only file claims on 10 at a time. So we got to take away one video, do those 10. We had a half-hour meeting with them today, and a half hour is all they give you. So we got everything that we could get done in 30 minutes. And then all of our stuff will be copyrighted that we want copyrighted for now. And then every 10 shows we do from now on, we're going to drop the money again, and we're going to copyright those. And that way, if any of you out there think you're going to do this shit, well, you're not without a heavy penalty. The fine is $2,500 and possible jail time. So of up to 90 days is what I heard.
The shows are copyrighted when they are broadcast. So we own an inherent copyright. What you're doing is actually you're registering
and the intellectual
copyright.
Yeah.
So just so no one gets the idea that until they get their 10 in, you can do whatever you want with it.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Because
they'll still take you down, as they know.
Right.
As they know, they'll still take you down. But explain again exactly what we're doing with the money we're paying on these 10 shows. What is it doing?
So there's the way I understand it, from what I was told by your representatives that met with those guys,
Yeah.
that it's an actual copyright claim that you're filing.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
the
that's what it is.
copyright
That's what
itself, YouTube in its own terms and services says anything you do broadcast over the air, it's an audio video presentation, and
Mhm.
that counts as a copyrighted thing. So you own the copyright.
Yes.
Just like every other YouTuber who broadcasts
Yeah,
something on YouTube,
it's not only me,
they
it's
own the
anybody.
copyright to their
I
own
haven't been
shows.
granted. I can't do this to anyone else's show either. That's why we
Right.
don't.
That's why we're not showing your show from Dr. Featherstone.
No,
They have a
I'd
copyright
like to.
on it.
I'd like to because they
You
had
know,
some
we could
troubles
always ask
uploading
them
it
for
on.
permission,
I'd
but
love to air it over here. I might
we
have to get permission.
can't
I
stand
might have
Bill
to get
Apter.
permission.
So now I heard that you were very nice to Bill Apter. Actually, I did watch the show, so I know you were very nice to Bill Apter, despite
Really?
all the horrible things he
You
said to
didn't
you and
watch the
Mr.
whole
Cena.
thing then, did you?
I
Because you
did.
see where he was complaining about John Cena
I
and
did.
him having a little heat.
You did. I mean, you.
And I
What
offered to
I,
fix it, and then I started thinking, you was a little rough on John. You
yeah.
ambushed him.
And he said that was his job, was to ambush John Cena Sr.
And I told him I now was having second thoughts about fixing their relationship.
But you were so polite about it.
We'll let the people
You were
decide
polite
when you
about
see
it.
it how polite I was. And I didn't
You were
talk
real
as much over there because normally I take up 95% of a show, and over there I took up about 93.
right.
So I really toned it down.
You
Tried to
didn't
behave.
talk near as much of their show. You only talked for 31 of their 30 minutes.
31 of
they
the
were on.
34 minutes we were on the air, so I cut way back. And I remember taking 2 breaths during the show, so maybe they got something in then. I'm not
After
sure.
got something in at that point.
Yeah, I think After tried. And but no, they seemed to love the show. They thought that I was an intriguing guest. I heard other words used. And I felt I was on my A game. I thought it was one of the better shows I've done that I don't get to use the F word. They asked me not to do the foul language. I think I said hell once or something. So other than that, I was reasonably well behaved. And so yeah, back to the miserable day. Bob and I both had a rough day today because I watched the 9th inning of your game. I just wrapped it up. I watched the 9th inning of my game.
That was painful.
And the 9th inning was not very, very good to either one of us today.
No.
And I was chatting Russo back and forth because it was my boys against his boys. And today it was Bob's boys against Morning Joe's boys. Morning Joe's big Boston Red Sox fan. And well, Morning Joe and Vince Russo win it today. And then when it was all over, I said, Vince Russo, he said, well, tomorrow's another day. I said, it is. And I said, and I guarantee you will not beat the Cincinnati Reds tomorrow. I guarantee you 100%. He says, how can you be so sure, King?
They don't play till Saturday.
They don't play. For whatever reason, the Reds have always taken the day off of opening day the following day. It's always been that way. Unless it was maybe a shortened season or something. They may not have done it then because the schedule was already made. But what threw me off today is that normally the Cincinnati Reds were always the first game. And for many years, the Reds were the only game of the day on opening day. Monday would be the Reds against whomever. 2:15 start time on Channel 41 in Louisville, Channel 5 in Cincinnati, Channel 18 in Lexington. I remember the TV guide, 3, 5, and 18, Cincinnati Reds opening day. There'd be a 90-minute parade coverage. Then we'd get to the ball game, and then there'd be 30 minutes of post game every year. And then the next day they'd be off. But the only game of the day was the Cincinnati Reds versus whomever. And then Tuesday would be opening day for the rest of Major League Baseball until the Boston Red Sox one year decided they were going to open up because they wanted to, because the Reds are the oldest team in Major League Baseball. That's why they got that privilege. Well, the Red Sox decided they were the oldest franchise in the American League, I guess. They had some reasoning that they thought that they could play on the same day as the Cincinnati Reds. So what they did, even though knowing the Cincinnati Reds were scheduled at 2:15 in the afternoon, they could have waited till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, do a night
like
game.
11 o'clock game.
They started first pitch at 11:05 a.m. Back in many years ago. I think it was late 70s, early 80s. The Red Sox started doing that. But for many, many moons, where I'm at now, for many, many moons, it was the Cincinnati Reds only. And that's why it's just, that's pretty special.
was
Well, you guys
tradition.
get to play, and you
It's
play at
like
home.
it's like the
And the Reds
Cowboys and
open
the
at home every
Lions
year.
on like the Cowboys and the Lions on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, that's how it was forever and
Tradition.
ever. Yeah. And yeah, for whatever
Yeah,
reason, that's just the
and
way it's always been.
then
Cowboys
they
and
started
Lions
then they
at home.
started with these
But,
Korean and
well, we got
Tokyo
the night. Well, we
series.
got the night games now. Las Vegas
Yeah,
maybe.
but the games that they play like in Tokyo or like they played in South Korea a couple years ago, those should not count. Those should not be regular season games.
Exhibition games, you're saying.
They
Exhibition.
should be
And they're not
exhibition games.
celebrating Thanksgiving in any of those towns either.
That's right.
So yeah, I
South
told you the
Korean
numbers will probably
Thanksgiving.
be way down tonight. Might be way down in donations
A
and team.
little bit of NCAA basketball action going on right
Yeah,
now.
it's looking like yeah, it looked like Alabama was kind of pulling away there a little bit. Florida was starting to pull away a little bit. I started watching it when it was a 4-point game. And do we have no? We only have a $10. Well, we're only going to be here 5 more minutes because we only have a $10 donation, and there's not a fucking shot in hell we're going to get to 200, which means Teamakers money will be safe for another night.
Yeah.
And so we'll be here 5 more minutes. No one's asking fucking anything anyway. I know it's members only, but maybe the members are all watching. I was like, well, there ain't gonna be nobody watching any NCAA ball. I remember some people saying that. So, but I had to try. I had to come over here and give it a shot. So I am sorry, everybody that's needing help. It does not look like any's coming because $10 is not going to go very, very far. So, unless somebody tries to save the day here in a few minutes, and I ain't holding my breath for that. But no, I set up a strict rule tonight before we went on. If we make $60 in the first hour, 30 minutes, we'll stay another 30, try and raise another 60, and so on and so on. But so far, Zach Bonifer is the only donation of the night.
TC from the
Maker did commit to 200, and I know he'll honor it, but we're 190 short.
And so, actually, Zach is not donated tonight. It's TC from the NC.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. TC. No, Zach donated the other day, I think.
Yes, he did.
But not tonight. And Naughty Nicole donated 40 the other night. Jazzy Jana donated 25 the other night. So I'm not even talking about any of them. I'm talking about the hundreds that watch the show that rarely, if ever, do anything. So yeah, we got some people here. We're trying to help. And I think, God, trying to remember if Mayla Lee needed some help. I think we got her.
She needed medicines, but we got that for her on.
Yeah, we got that done. Yeah, we got that. Yeah, we got a bunch of them done the other day. So, well, we got about 3 minutes left, guys, and if that don't pan out, and I don't see any reason to come on Saturday because that's tournament night as well, and Friday night is tournament night, so I don't see any reason to do that, and then Sunday is tournament night, so I just don't see any gaps until next Tuesday.
We might not do another show until after WrestleMania.
Maybe. Oh, and you remember Karen McDonald? I'll wrap the last 3 minutes up with Karen. Remember, today was the day. He had the 4:15 p.m. to make his final payment on the bet that he made me in September and then went double or nothing. So I wrote him yesterday. I said, you got till 4:15 to make your payment. He writes back, oh, is opening day upon us already? Oh, my God, that came quick. I said, no, it did not. Opening day came at the same goddamn time it comes almost every year. You made a bet with me in late September, early October as to how shit was going to go with the Padres and the Braves. I believe that's who it was. And you lost. And then you wanted to go double or nothing when you thought you guys were going to win it. And we did. And you lost that too. And then you wanted to pay me later. And then all of a sudden, you jacked around forever. And I blocked you for quite some time. And then you said you'll get me paid. And then you made like a $50 payment of the $200 that you owed. And it's not that you even owe it to me. It's that you owe it to our Filipino families. Because I told you I'll take your bet and I'll help people with it, which I do. So no, you didn't fuck me. You fucked the Filipino families. So today was the day you're supposed to make your payment. Oh, King, can I get a week extension? What? You have owed me this money since, we'll just say early October, when you lost the double for nothing bet. You've paid 50 of the 200 you owe. And now all of a sudden you think you're going to come up with another $150. maybe from your mother, in a week. You also claimed you wanted to come to my home and go to Cincinnati with me to meet a very important dignitary that I have not even talked about that meeting in public with anybody. So no, you weren't invited. You weren't going to be going. But you had money for a plane ticket. You had money for hotel. You had money for food. You had money to travel to Cincinnati and back, or so you said. But you didn't have the money to pay off the bets you made. And you know what he tried to pull today, everybody? Or not today, but yesterday? King, why don't we go double or nothing on that the Padres have a better season than the Reds? So he could drag it out another 6-7 months. I said, no, your word is no good. You have no honor. You have no dignity. Your word is tripe to me. No, there will be no more bets. You will pay your bet, and then you will be allowed back to watch the shows. And if you don't pay your bet, you will be banned for life. And as a matter of fact, I've heard a couple of my better customers that support this show saying, you know what, King, it'd almost be worth $150 than I'll pay the money he owes and to see him go away for life. King, I think I got the feeling you just want to see me go away for life. I said, no, I want to see your $150 and prove your word is worth something. That's what I want
away for life.
Then no, I wouldn't do that because I'm a man of my word. Well, the comments have been low tonight. Comments have been low. I can't believe that goddamn many people are watching the NCAA tournament of the games that are on.
Story. Something's going on.
So that's the deal. So I'm going to give him the 1 week extension just to prove that his word is no good because he's not going to come up with the money. But at 4:15 on next Thursday, I'd say that's when we block Karen McDonald for life, and you'll never hear that name on here again, and you'll know he's a what's the word you call it? It's not an Indian giver because an Indian giver he's a welcher.
Yeah,
that's not good. That's not even good for people who live in Welch. It's not even good for that.
Or Bob Welch.
Not even him. Not even him. So there we go. That is the 32 minutes we gave you. We actually gave
Welch's jams and jellies.
I mean, I'm going to look and see if anybody did anything. No. $10 is what we made it. Well, thank you, TC from the NC. You're the guy. Not even Zach.
TC. This audio-visual presentation has been broadcast and it's copyrighted 2025 by Kenneth W. Bolin. Don't copy it. Don't sell it. Don't do anything with it.
No, do that. $2,500 from you. I dare you.
You know what? That actually,
yeah, that might be the way we make the money from now on.
That's it. We won't need donations. Please, illegally broadcast our show. You don't have permission to do so.
No, you ain't got permission.
And our plea to you to illegally broadcast is not to be construed as permission. It's a joke, people. Don't listen to me. I'm not serious.
I do have one more thing to say before we go. I do have one more thing to say.
All right, let's put you back on the screen. You want the big screen again?
Yeah, we got one more thing to say here before we go. Right. As you all know, we had to get a channel eliminated here recently. And they finally fucked around and found out. And their channel went away, and there's more bad shit about to happen. But the one of the people that was involved in this wrote me and wrote a very lengthy letter about how they don't want to fuck with me anymore, and that they're going to advise anybody that's been fucking with me that they probably shouldn't. And it's a very lengthy letter. Me and Bob have seen it. TC from the NC has seen it. Our bigger donors have seen it, and they've seen the letter to where they admit guilt and wrongdoings, and we're not going to do that shit anymore. So I just wanted to let you know that has been done. The letter has been received, mainly because like I told you, I filed police reports in several states because what has been going on is interstate harassment, which is a felony, cyberbullying, which is a felony, and doxing, which is a felony. That's 3 felonies that most of these people have been involved with. So one of them found out just a couple of days ago that I am not fucking around. Actually, 2 of them have found out I'm not fucking around of 2 of the states that I filed police reports in. And I know they like to say, oh, he's just bluffing. He's full of shit. We know shit on him. Well, you better get your shit and bring it to the police department because one of you found out the hard way. And that's why he wrote his letter, because the police visited his work and said this shit needs to end, which is what I asked them to do. I don't want to lock anybody up if I don't have to. and I don't want to cost anybody their jobs if I don't have to. Unlike the way you all fucked with me for the last 3 to 7 years. I showed some fucking mercy, and I didn't have to. I even had lots of people that know me or very close to me, members of my family and members of this podcast. Maybe you shouldn't show so much mercy because they sure haven't shown you any. Well, that's the last fucking ounce of mercy that I'm showing. God damn, there's a scream outside. Somebody show that kid some mercy. So that's the scoop. That's the deal. That's what's going to happen if you show up at this house. The meat eaters. The meat eaters are going to get you. So, yeah. A couple of you have already found out, and there's more of you that will if this shit don't come to an end. So I am not fucking around anymore. To quote Alec Baldwin, I am not fucking with you. I am from downtown. I'm from Mitch and Murray. So, got to get those Alec Baldwin lines in there. I heard a kid scream, and then the dogs went nuts at the window. So that was worth the extra 5 minutes. And Bob, you have seen the letter. I'm not lying, am I?
I've seen the letter, yeah.
TC from the NC has seen the letter. And there have been a few. Michigan Mike has the letter. Like I said, those that are consistent, steady donors to the show, whether or not they average 100 a month or not, you know. Oh, and when can I expect? You had mentioned something special that we're going to start.
The beans yet till they
I'm not spilling the beans, but you mentioned something special's coming. When can I expect that? No, I'm smart. I know better than to spill the beans.
A week to 10 days would be my guess.
Well, unless I made a pot of chili, you know, I might spill that.
Yeah, then you might spill those beans into a plate.
And there's honey, I'm so sorry. No one cared enough to help you with your dog tonight, honey. I'm so sorry. I mean, unless something came up when I was talking about the police going to people's businesses and homes.
Yeah, blame everybody else because, you know.
I am blaming everybody else. Nope. TC, you're the star of the show tonight, man. You're the only donation we got, $10. Oh well, it ain't your birthday every day, right? It ain't your birthday every day. All right, guys, that'll do it. That'll do it for tonight. We probably will not be back till Tuesday. I don't really see much sense to do it. I can't pick a day that it would work. You know, that we're not going head to head with college basketball.
Unless there's breaking news that just determines we have.
Yeah. And if we went on earlier before the games or something like that.
Yeah, they're on all day long, however. So
yeah, those don't normally work either. I'm still furious that with 16, we're down to the Sweet 16. That's 8 games, and we still got to run 2 of the games 3 minutes apart. One game had 19 minutes left in it, and the other one had 17 minutes. We can't gap it out any better than that. Can't start a game at fucking 5 o'clock or something. Yeah, to where those fans can just focus on that game and they get all the attention. I don't know. I don't get it. So you are welcome to donate after the show if you'd like. You can do that.
Same ways.
And once we accumulate $200, I know my man will be good for it, but we're $190 shy. And as a matter of fact, I was going to say we only need to do 150 because I'll do 50 of it. I get paid tomorrow. I get a bonus tomorrow. I'll kick in 50. So we only need to do 140 more. And I'll do the other 50. That bonus I keep hearing about finally comes tomorrow. So that's good.
I wouldn't count on my bonuses until they were in the.
Oh, trust me.
You never know.
Trust me, I'll get this bonus because talks have been had. Because that bonus got teased 2 weeks in a row. I said, well, guess what? This is the week we get the bonus. Or you have a competitor that likes my work. So that seemed to assure me that I'd be getting my bonus. So, and there's J9E, got her pictorial done. We got everything that she needed done. And her friend Lizelle was up here earlier. They're just looking to bite somebody. They just looking to bite somebody.
Is there a maintenance man? I mean, a maintenance man shut up your house?
He don't come around here no more. No, he fucked around and found out too. So no, he don't come around here no more. There's a new maintenance man that comes by and he knows the rules. So he ain't been bit. So you know how it goes. So, ladies and gentlemen, until I guess Tuesday night, unless like Bob says, breaking news or something happens. I'm Kenny the Star Maker Bolin. That's Bob Hazelwood, and the Coltrane didn't even give 2 shits to show up.
Well, so, he did. He had family business tonight. So.
Oh, well, you know what the problem is there. He picked family over this family.
Yeah, get rid of your family.
All he had to do was pick us over them. And
that's easy.
Is somebody trying to break in? If you get in, bite them. I'm so like that. Jesus. Might be one of those trolls. Maybe one of the trolls showed up.
It could be. You might look outside the window and see which one.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my crown on and step outside. That should diffuse everything right there.
There you go.
So until probably Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, guys, we did say